Good morning, Morgan. Today is Monday, March 15th, 2032.
"2017's immersive sim Prey by Arcane Studios provided players with the opportunity to live out their sci-fi dreams of fighting off strange alien creatures ravaging an advanced space station. Okay, so that's my sci-fi dream, but still. The world of Prey is a reactive landscape littered with unique weapons, combat encounters that feel like genuine puzzles with multiple interpretations and solutions, and truly innovative traversal mechanics, including, but not limited to, turning into an actual coffee mug and rolling around. Inspired by the obvious cultural touchstone Alien and combining it with deep roots founded in the likes of System Shock and Deus Ex, Prey is a unique experience all its own. Throwing you in the space boots of Morgan Yu, it's on your shoulders to figure out how to stop the horrifying menace of the Typhon, gooey black oil monsters that can use superpowers to stop you in your tracks. Luckily though, Morgan's got a few tricks up his, or her as you can choose your sex at the beginning of the game, sleeve. And in no time, you're hacking, shooting, and blasting enemies away as you find a solution to this hellish outbreak. Prey provides its players with a series of complex systems that seem daunting at first, but quickly become second nature thanks in part to its excellent setup, world building, and smart tutorial usage. And while it doesn't get everything right, the beginning of Prey teaches you the basic mechanics of interacting with the world around you in a truly sophisticated, innovative, and narratively satisfying way.
Good morning, Morgan. Today is Monday, March 15th, 2032.
We're woken up by the alarm clock, telling us the time and date. Our brother calls us, reminding us of something that involves our expertise. We're told to get dressed. That's how we'll progress forward in the main story of Prey, by suiting up. However, we're not forced to leave our studio apartment. Instead, we can check out our computer, use the bathroom, or read whatever random books we have lying around. It is here that Prey teaches us how we'll interact with the world. We can collect scrap parts to craft with later, we can thumb through our emails, and we can move things around in our environment. By allowing the freedom to interact with the various systems of Prey in a stress-free environment, we teach ourselves. Take the system that allows us to leaf through emails. It sounds mundane, but the grace of the email system is actually quite marvelous. We can have various scrolling speeds, various ways we select things, and we have an option to focus on the screen, allowing for greater accuracy in moving our mouse cursor. You might think all this attention is pointless, but it's not. Later on, you'll be reading monitors, searching for passwords and clues to open doors and solve puzzles. All the while, Typhon might be patrolling in the halls outside. If they happen to enter the room you're in, they'll attack. The game doesn't pause itself just because you're reading a personal back and forth between two lovers. The fact the game allows you to learn the intricacies of the reading system allows for a greater mastery and a greater sense of self later on, when tensions are running high and one wrong move can result in your death. Oh, and the books we talked about earlier? Those books show us that there are two different reading systems in place. Reading a book pauses the world. Reading an email or hacking into a system does not. This distinction is important for us to learn early on. The knowledge we gain is just as valuable a tool in our arsenal as any gun. Okay, so within the first 5 minutes we've picked up junk, we've read some emails, and we've thrown some boxes around. Sure, that stuff will help us later on, but what about the core mechanics? You know, the combat? Well, the game has us covered there too. The game gives us a tutorial through the use of its expertly crafted introduction and the story beats it relies on to set up the main plot.
Ms. Yu, please make yourself comfortable and we'll be on our way. TranStar facility is just a short hop. 78 degrees, clear skies all the way.
Morgan! Finally! You don't look terrible in a TranStar uniform. How's your eye? Still red? I know the test might seem a little unconventional, but it's a you family tradition. Breaking convention is in our blood.
Morgan is taken through test chamber after test chamber. It's here where we'll learn about the hiding mechanics, the vaulting mechanics, and it'll even make sure we're truly comfortable with manipulating things on a screen. Admittedly, the last might be overkill, but this assuredness accomplishes two things. It fully prepares you for the world outside your apartment, and it does something clever with its narrative, which we'll watch now.
Can someone get me a cup of coffee? I would appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, Morgan. Have a seat at the table for me, please. Wonderful job. Take a look at the screen in front of you. I'm going to show you a series of questions. Pick the answer that makes the most sense to you. Press start on the screen when you're ready. Whenever you're ready, Morgan. Good. Looks like you've got the hang of it. Keep going. Ooh, that's heavy stuff. Good. Next. Almost done. Wow. I'm impressed. Well done. Well done. We're nearly through it. For this next part, I'm going to display an image. I want you to take a good look at it. In a moment, I'm going to ask you what... is my coffee? It's empty.
Oh my god! Security! Security!
Alex,
Simmons, what's going on?
we have a problem.
What about Morgan?
She's alive, sedated.
Clean it up. I'm on my way.
You think you're taking a normal test, which takes your attention away from the scientists, allowing the shock and the suddenness of the attack to have more of an impact. Stories work differently in games, and narratively, this piece of misdirection is brilliant. On a systems level, mechanical level, and a gameplay level, an interactive set piece doesn't get much better than this moment. After all, you can look up at the man anytime you want. Your control is never taken away. It just tricks you into not looking. The test you're taking is a morality test, and video games have conditioned us to take advantage of morality systems because of how cliched their implementation has been historically. So when we see this morality test, we think of things like the goat from Fallout 3, or the red and blue speech options in Mass Effect. In reality, this test has no bearing on the game. Its sole purpose is to distract you, and it does so perfectly. After all, we want a character that's personalized and shaped by our choices. We need to make sure we're selecting our answers accordingly. We'll just have to pay attention extra hard.
Good morning, Morgan. Today is Monday, March 15th, 2032.
And finally, let's get to the ending of our opening. Things have gone pear-shaped. When we wake up, something is off. It's a repeat of the previous day. Plus, we've been gassed and put under, so that's not suspicious or anything. But once we leave our apartment, we see the maintenance worker that was there yesterday is lying dead. Her tools are off to her side. We're given a new objective: escape the apartment. The doors are locked. And wasn't there an elevator? How do we get there again? No time for that. The doors are locked and there's definitely an intruder. And so we pick up the wrench as our only means of self-defense. We re-enter our apartment. The balcony door is locked and we can't open it. Oh well, if we can't escape through normal means, we'll break out. We'll smash the glass and climb down from our balcony. And there it is. The twist that brings it all together. Nothing was real. The game has started. Survive. You've been taught the basics. After all, if we ignore the fact that decades of gaming has normalized the right trigger as shoot, or in this case, swing, Then we realize that the game has taught us how to fight as well. The complicated stuff will be introduced through text boxes, because the more complicated systems can't be taught as easily.
You're burning daylight. Send the helicopter to pick you up. It's just a few tests. Don't forget to wear your suit. See you soon. Oh, listen, really great you decided to come on board. We're gonna shake things up, Morgan. Like old times.
But you've been prepped for the core mechanics. Run, hide, read, fight. Be vigilant. Interact with everything and trust nothing. These are the basics that Prey manages to teach us so well. Ultimately, no matter how powerful we get, we'll always return to those core lessons as we traverse the Talus 1. And if you're wondering how the game teaches us about death or environmental danger before we get into a real encounter, well, the game has figured out that lesson as well, if you're curious enough. I can't speak for everyone, but I personally wanted to see what would happen if I decided not to get in the helicopter. Instead, I wanted to see what would happen if I jumped.